Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a topic that can look, a little scary, exponents. But trust me, we're going to make it so simple you'll have it down in just a couple of minutes. Let's go ahead and crack the code. All right, so let's just jump right in with this problem here. I know. At first glance, it looks like a total mess, right? All those little numbers floating around. But stick with me, I promise you, by the time we're done here, you're gonna look at this and think, wow, that's actually really easy. And you wanna know the secret? You don't need some fancy calculator or, a degree in advanced math. All you need are just two, simple rules. That's it. Get those down and you've got this.
All right, so rule number one, let's get into it. This one is all about multiplying powers.
Okay, so the rule itself, it's super simple. Here's the deal. If you're multiplying powers and the base number, the big one, is the same, you just add the exponents. Yep, just add those little numbers at the top. That's all there is to it. And here's what I love about this. We're not just gonna tell you the rule, we're gonna show you why it works. I mean, look at that, you can literally see it happening. You've got your 2 3s here, your 3 3s there, and they just come together.
So let's walk through it, step by step. First up, you've got 3 squared. That's just 3 times 3, right? 2 of them. Then you've got 3 cubed. That's 3 times 3 times 3, 3 of them. Now smush them all together. How many 3s are you multiplying in total? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3 to the power of 5. See the shortcut? You just did 2 plus 3. It's that easy.
And this leads us to the general rule. This is the big takeaway right here. It doesn't matter what that base number A is. It could be 3, it could be 8, it could be 1,000,000. The rule is always the same. If the bases match, you just add the exponents. M plus N. Boom.
Okay, you ready for rule number 2? This is the flip side of the coin, all about dividing powers.
And hey, the logic here is just as clean. It kind of makes sense, right? If multiplying means you add the exponents, what do you think you do for division, the opposite operation? Exactly, you subtract them. And again, let's visualize it, because that makes it so much clearer. When you write it out like a fraction, you can literally see what's happening. The 7s on the bottom just cancel out their buddies on the top.
So let's break this down. You start with 5 7s on top and 2 7s on the bottom. For every 7 downstairs, you get to cancel 1 out upstairs. So, cancel 1, cancel 2. What's left? Yep, you're left with 3 7s on top, which is just 7 to the power of 3. The quick way? 5 minus 2 equals 3. It's just a shortcut for all that canceling.
So there it is, our second big formula. Again, for any base A, as long as they match, when you divide, you just subtract the exponents. Simple as that.
Okay, let's put it all together. Here they are, side by side. This is really the whole shebang. Look, multiply, you add. Divide, you subtract. That's it. If you can just remember that little pairing, you are good to go. You're ready for pretty much any problem they can throw at you. Okay, so you've got the rules, you know the logic behind them, it's time. Let's go back to that very first problem and take it down. Remember this guy? He looked a little tough at the start, didn't he? Well, not anymore. We're just gonna break it into smaller pieces. Let's start with the numerator, the top part of the fraction.
All right, let's look at the top first. We've got 8 to the 4th times 8 to the 6th. It's multiplication, so what do? We add the exponents. 4 plus 6 is 10, so the top is just 8 to the 10th. Easy, right? Now let's do the bottom. 8 to the 3rd times 8 to the 5th. Again, we add. 3 plus 5 is 8, so the bottom is 8 to the 8th. Okay, look what we have now. 8 to the 10th divided by 8 to the 8th. This is a job for rule number 2. It's division, so we subtract. 10 minus 8 gives us 2. So our whole big messy problem simplifies all the way down to just 8 squared.
And what's 8 squared? Well, that's just 8 times 8, which is 64, and there it is. That problem that looked so complicated at the start, it's just 64. That's the power of these two little rules. You know what's really cool though? There's actually more than one way to solve this. The textbook even shows another way to do it where you kind of mix up the order of operations a bit. But guess what happens? You end up with the exact same answer, 64. It just goes to show, as long as you follow the rules, they'll always lead you to the right place. Okay, so now you've seen it in action, you've got the theory, you've seen the proof, so now it's your turn for a challenge. All right, check this out. It's a bit of a puzzle. 3 to the power of x times something equals 3 to the power of x plus y. So the question is, what goes in that blank? Think back to our very first rule, the multiplication rule.
What do you have to multiply by to get that plus y up there in the exponent?
And look, knowing these rules isn't just about getting the right answer on a test. It's about something bigger. It's about seeing how a system that looks really complicated on the surface is actually built on a couple of really simple, logical ideas. Once you get that, once you understand the why behind the rules, you can figure out anything. The power, literally, is yours.